Hi, welcome to this session on Introduction to Alternative Investments. I am Piyush Arora. I am the lead instructor at Bay Street School for anything financial. This course is helpful for anybody who is going to take up CFA level 1 or someone who wants to build a career in alternative investments. It's a evolving field and has a lot of scope. A lot of new certifications has have come in alternative investments like Kaya, and this course is helpful for both CFA level 1 aspirants and for anyone who's looking to start and or begin a career in alternative investments. Without much ado, we'll be following the CFA curriculum for this course, and I like to take you through the content one by one. So stay tuned. So, what are alternative investments? See, alternative investments is a new world. Alternative investments is unlike the traditional investments that we are used to. And by traditional investments, we mean stocks, bonds, the regular investment in instruments which we are used to, right? So the definition is basically by exclusion, like whatever is non-traditional is alternative. So since it's a evolving field, as I said, it's evolving every day. New investments come up which cannot be termed traditional. They all fall in the bracket of alternative investments. Now, traditional investments are defined. They're like stocks, bonds that we are used to investing in. Now, why are they used, right? So, if we have bonds, we have stocks, why do we need alternative investments? Now, there are multitude of reasons why you should invest in alternative investments. One big reason is diversification. So, what happens is that if you are invested in stocks and the stock market goes down, and everything that you own is linked to the stock market, then everything falls down, right? So if you are having a diversified portfolio, a part of your portfolio will weather storms in one particular asset class. Like equity is having a storm, the market value of listed securities is falling, but you hold gold. So you are part of your portfolio is safe to that extent, and you've diversified your portfolio. And also return enhancement. Return enhancement is a key factor that portfolio managers use alternative investments for. Now, what are the various types of alternative investments? Okay, so this list might look large, but let me like break it down for you. So you have your regular hedge funds here. Hedge funds are funds which can deploy a lot of strategies to generate returns. Now they are type of funds who are not very restrictive. They can use a lot of means, are very less regulated to kind of generate returns. So these are the type of funds that a high HNI, a high net worth individual would use to generate returns, as well as institutions. And they can invest in any type of security. They can hold long or short, so they can sell or buy, and they can use derivatives as well. So they are the kind of investors who can use any strategy almost, defined by the constitution, of course, of the fund, but they can use any strategy to generate returns. Private equity, we all are used to private equity investments being declared in the financial press. These they generally invest in private companies or public companies which are going to be taken private once they own these companies. In a lot of emerging markets, you also have private equity firms investing in public companies and letting them stay public. But for the purpose of this course, we have private equity investments either in private companies or public companies with the intent to take them private. And there are two types: LBOs and VCs. LBO leverage buyouts, and VCs are venture capital. Since we are going to cover private equities in great detail in this course, I'll be describe these in detail later on in the private equity section. The next one is real estate. Now, in real estate, we have direct investments in real estate, which could be commercial or residential, or any securities backed by a single pool of real estate or a pool of investments. So you could basically own a direct property within real estate, or you could own securities backed by a single property or a pool of properties. So those are asset backed securities, or you could directly own real estate, right? So if you buy a land or a building, that's direct investment. Or if you buy securities backed by real estate, that's indirect investment into real estate. Then commodities, trading in commodities has increased immensely over the last 2 decades. And here you could either directly own the commodity, like if you are using wheat or barley in your produce in your business, you could own the commodity, or you could own derivatives, like you have futures and forwards on commodities, or you could own the stock of companies using commodities. They could be processing commodities, they could be trading commodities, like buying and selling directly, merchandising. So you could own the equity of such companies, or you could own the commodities themselves, or buy derivative contracts to hedge or speculate on commodity prices. So that's where the commodity exposure comes into play. Then infrastructure. Now infrastructure, as roads, railways, airports, utilities, all these are infrastructure related infrastructure items. And these are long lived assets generally used for public service, as is written. And this could be economic assets, roads, airports, utilities, or social assets like schools, hospitals, etc. Then we come to others. Now this is an interesting part. This is where the list keeps getting added. So even if you are a collector of fine wines, you are a collector of antique furniture or antiques in general, vintage automobile, stamps which have value, even coins, it's not mentioned here, patents, any other intangible assets that you may own. Now these are all alternative investments. So if you own any library, digital library, it might be an alternative investment today, right? Alternative investment. So any digital asset that you own, unless it's in regular stock or bonds in a demat format, but otherwise it will be classified as alternative investments. So this is the interesting part. That's where the world of alternative investments keeps getting expanded over time. Let's go to the next one. So what are the characteristics of alternative investments? We all know they are different from traditional investments, but how are they different? What is it that distinguishes them from traditional investments? They're less liquid. So just to give you an example, if you are buying a real estate, a property anywhere, versus buying a stock, what's easier to sell, right? What's more liquid? It's definitely the stocks and the bonds which are more liquid. Alternative investments are not so liquid. You need more specialized knowledge. That's why we are learning this, because you need to know the dynamics of how investments work in this. You need specialized managers to manage investments in the alternative investment space. Regulations always play catch up, so regulations are evolving, and kind of it's not that highly regulated. Also, a lot of innovation in hedge funds happens because of low regulation. It's one of the main reasons why more innovation, financial innovation, takes place. Less transparency. You don't know what a hedge fund would invest in. It's difficult to kind of get disclosures out of everything, so it's kind of evolving. The transparency part is also evolving alongside. A higher fees is charged because of the specialization of the managers required to manage alternative investments. There could be various restrictions on redemption. It's not like a sell button click like in stocks. Yeah, so because the ticket size could be larger in an alternative investment, your portfolio might end up being concentrated. Legal issues are there, taxation issues are there. All of this we are going to discuss. Historical data is low because, frankly, the field has come up in the last few years, and it's evolving. So there is less historical data to analyze. And this is the part where you get the diversification benefit. There is very little or low correlation with the traditional portfolio, which is good, because, in fact, if there is a large correlation, then everything will go up and down together. Whereas if you have very little correlation, then you can have the benefit of diversification. Okay, moving on. So we are going to do a 10-second quiz, and I'm going to time it. So you just need to answer it in your head. I will tell you the answer 10 seconds from the question time. So which of the following is not an alternative investment? You can keep the answer in your mind. I'll count. I'll see 10 seconds. Whenever they are over, I'll show you the answer. So hedge funds, commodity futures, treasury bonds, or direct investment in a property, which is real estate. So I'll just wait for you. You can think about it, and after about 5 more seconds, I'll show you the answer. Yeah, so treasury bonds. So hedge fund, as we know, is a alternative investment. Commodity futures, part of commodities. One way to buy into commodities, which is the derivative part. And real estate, as we knew, direct or asset backed, both classify as alternative investments. So treasury bonds are regular investments. They are traditional investments. They are like bonds and stocks, the part of bonds. So that's why they are not alternative investments. Again, another question is coming your way. So I will switch it on, and then I'll give you 10 seconds to go through it, and just be ready with your answer in your mind, and I'll show you answer of the question in 10 more seconds. Which of the following is not a characteristic of alternative investments? Low regulation, high fees versus traditional, less historical data, or highly liquid? So which of them is not a characteristic of alternative investment? I'll give you some time to think about it. So, okay, all of you who are guessing D, the last option, right? Alternative investments have low regulation. They require higher fee to be paid to managers because of the specialization, and there is less historical data available versus a traditional investment. So all those three are characteristics of alternative investment, and they are very, very low on liquidity. It's not easy to sell a real estate. It's not a click of a button like a stock. So they are not highly liquid. They are low on liquidity. Then that's the answer. Now I'm going to share some more information on private equity post this, and that will form the second part of this course. Hi to all of you who are watching this on YouTube. The full course is available on Bay Street School. We are a school focused on finance, IELTS, GMAT, and financial modeling practice. And we basically offer these two certificates. These two courses. One of them is a free course, which is an introduction to financial modeling, and then we have a full course, financial modeling from scratch using Excel, which is available both on Bay Street School and on Udemy by me. And if you want to attend any of these courses, you can visit baystreetschool.com or udemy.com and enroll in these courses. The full course, the financial modeling from scratch using Microsoft Excel, that course is a paid course, is a certified course, but we charge a minimal amount for it. And our school is focused on increasing the coverage of financial inclusion, financial literacy across. So you could look at this course on our website. And also, if you want to carry on with the remaining of the alternative investment course for CFA level 1, do check out the course of alternative investments CFA level 1 on Bay Street School or Udemy for the full course if you are kind of studying towards your level 1. Thanks a lot for your time today. It was kind of great interacting with you. Thank you.